Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now, this video just dropped. Trump caught in bombshell extortion attempt. So we're about to check this video out and see what Trump is getting accused of. The last video I did where the French senator talked about Trump and all the stuff that he was, just very much disappointed with within the American politics and really President Trump. And I have to agree. There's a lot of stuff in there that Trump has done and it seems like he's doing, and it's very upsetting to me as an American. But we're going to check this video out, Trump caught in bombshell extortion attempt, and see what's going on, because I'm seeing all these videos where he's trying to put tariffs on all these countries. Just like some of you guys said in the comment section, it's like a dictatorship. So let's go. Let's see what's going on. Let me know your opinions down in the comment section. I love to read and talk to you guys down in the comments, so be sure to do that. Besides that, let's go.
You're watching The Legal Breakdown. Glenn, we just saw a move by Donald Trump that may very well be evidence of his own extortion plot. Can you explain what just happened here?
Yeah, Brian, let me start by explaining very briefly what extortion is, and then let's turn to the new reporting. So extortion, under the laws of the District of Columbia, involves the following. It's a criminal offense in D.C. to obtain something of value or compel action through threats or coercion. A pretty simple definition of the crime of extortion. It's also interchangeably called blackmail sometimes. But it is obtaining something of value or compelling action through threats or coercion. What did Donald Trump do? Donald Trump issued an executive order designed to punish a law firm called Paul Weiss. And it's a Democratic-leaning law firm. They've represented lots of Democrats, I believe, including Hillary Clinton and others. And Donald Trump apparently wanted to punish them, so he issued an executive order saying he's going to revoke their security clearances and they can't do business with government agencies, et cetera, et cetera. Now, this is big law. This is a law firm that reportedly pulled in $2 billion in 2023. So, it's a firm that is probably understandably concerned about their bottom line and their profit margin. But instead of bringing a legal challenge, a lawsuit to try to combat what seems pretty obviously like a violation of your First Amendment rights to free speech and to represent the clients you see fit to represent, other law firms are bringing suit against similar executive orders. The head of Paul Weiss, I want to make sure I get his name right. His name is Brad Karp. He is the chairman of the firm whose full name is Paul Weiss, Rifkin, Garrison, and Wharton, made a pilgrimage to the Oval Office, met with Donald Trump, and according to the reporting and to a post by Donald Trump himself, they offered Donald Trump $40 million in legal services for causes that will help Donald Trump's political priorities. When they offered that $40 million, guess what Donald Trump did? He said, I am deciding not to punish your law firm. Brian, let me just
yeah. Hold on, bro. Woo. That's extortion at its finest. You threaten somebody that you're going to do this and do that. They offer you $40 million in legal services, and then you said, okay, I'm not going. Man, it's clear as day. And it looked like Glenn Kirshner. Glenn Kirshner is what? An assistant United States attorney, District of Columbia. Okay, so he works for the United States, man. He's up in there. So assistant United States attorney, that's like a DA, but top level. Let's go.
Our viewers, does that sound like Donald Trump obtained something of value through threats or coercion? It feels really extortion-y to me, but that is what just happened.
Now, the reality is that if there were to be any legal action against this, it would have to be taken by the entity that was harmed, which would be Paul Weiss itself. And it looks like Paul Weiss, far from taking legal action against Trump, are perfectly content to fully bend the knee to him.
Yeah. This is now, unless there are other parties that might have standing that might be harmed by this, apparently ugly bargain that Paul Weiss and Donald Trump just struck. If they're harmed, they might have standing to bring suit, but I think it unlikely. You're right. It really is Paul Weiss that would have to bring a legal challenge against, again, what feels like extortion. I mean, if you kind of boil it down to its basics, this is like if a county building inspector came to your house and said, yeah, I'll make sure your deck or the addition to your home passes inspection if you grease my palm with $500. Or if the homeowner said to the inspector, hey, I'll grease your palm with $500 if you, pass my deck, the inspection. That's what this is, right? This is something that is a misuse of the power, the authority of government, the president, and it is something that I am shocked, quite frankly, that a law firm like Paul Weiss would capitulate to.
What does their capitulation do to the broader effort for law firms to be able to stand up against Trump?
I think it will inspire and embolden Donald Trump to continue to do this to even more law firms, because look at what he just landed courtesy of this act, saying I'm going to punish Paul Weiss. He got himself $40 million in free legal services. Why wouldn't he continue to go after other law firms looking for the same political payday from them?
Yeah, man, that's,
I'm gonna ask a question.
That's dictatorship and that's bullying. You are bully. He's been a bully. That's crazy. But if this guy's a assistant United States Attorney General, why are you not trying to file? I don't know if he is right now. I'm just saying. I just look at his accolades in the background. But if he is, guys, if you have evidence about this, why isn't he trying to file charges on Donald Trump for this stuff? Like, what? Come on. And then on Paul Weiss' behalf, like, that's the president of the United States. You're trying to go to war with the. Listen, that's tough. But somebody needs to stand up. I'm with you guys here. Somebody needs to stand up to the man. You can't go around bullying people, trying to handle business like this. That's crazy. That's like guerrilla business maneuvers. That's crazy.
Question that I asked before, but in a little bit of a different way. If you have somebody like the President of the United States attempting to extort a smaller entity, an entity that they would have a lot of control over their finances, over their business, it doesn't exactly seem out of the question, outside the realm of logic, that they would succumb to Trump's demands because of that power imbalance and because they are the victim of that extortion attempt. And so how could it be that it's allowed to continue without any other entity stepping in and putting a stop to it? This is almost like, look, I'm not excusing Paul Weiss because I think that they could have very well done what Perkins Coie is doing and actually fought this. But there is a part of me that understands that they are still the victim of an extortion attempt. And so does it lend itself to reason that the only entity that would be able to bring suit against Donald Trump or this administration would be the victim of the extortion attempt, who clearly has a lot more to lose if they were to take an aggressive, hostile posture?
Yeah, a couple of layers there. So first of
careful.
all, usually law enforcement tries to protect the victims even when the victims are unwilling or unable to protect themselves. It looks like Paul Weiss, assuming this would qualify under the elements of the crime of extortion, it looks like Paul Weiss was unwilling to buck the president. Maybe they didn't want to get punished even more severely. Maybe they were making a cost-benefit analysis and they were protecting their profit margin. Shame on them if they were, because this continues to degrade our democracy, giving in to an aspiring dictator. But ordinarily, Brian, and let me use another very quick analogy. I handled a lot of domestic violence cases, including domestic violence murder cases. Often the victim of the domestic violence was unwilling or unable to stand up for themselves. So even if they didn't want to bring charges, we brought charges as the prosecutors to protect the victim, even when the victim didn't seem to be in a position to protect themselves, and to protect the balance of society against the perpetrator. But so when the victims are unable or unwilling to protect themselves, you know who's supposed to protect them? Law enforcement.
Exactly.
Who would that be in this instance?
Would it be the DOJ in this instance?
The FBI, the federal prosecutors, it would be the Department of Justice. But do you really think Pam Bondi, Emile Bove, Todd Blanche, and those of their ilk, Trump lawyers, all are going to step up and put a stop to anything that Donald Trump is doing that might cross a legal line? Not going to happen. But can I shift my ire and my complaint?
We have to hold everyone to the standards, man. President or not president. This is unacceptable, guys. I'm sorry. I don't agree. Like, yeah, they may not do that because they're on his side, but wrong is wrong and right is right. The law is the law. No matter if you're the president or not the president, you can't go around breaking the law, bullying people, extorting people. I'm sorry. It's not cool.
Complaint for just a minute to mainstream media, Brian.
Yeah.
Because when I saw this story reported out this morning, I made the mistake of turning on cable news, and I actually saw people saying things like, well, you know, this is a really unconventional negotiation that Donald Trump is undertaking, punishing a law firm, receiving $40 million in legal services and saying, oh, well, then I won't punish you anymore. This is a really unconventional form of negotiation by a president. Brian, that would be like saying if Donald Trump was out on the White House lawn shooting and killing people, if the media reported that as a really unconventional form of population control. No, it would be murder. It would be a crime. And this, as I say, looks a lot like the crime of extortion when you drill down and look at the legal elements of extortion.
Well, look, I mean, that is the perfect encapsulation of the ways in which our media has normalized not just this event, but so much of what Trump has done before. So if I could take a quick moment to ask folks who are watching right now, if you want to support the work that we do, support independent media more broadly, please make sure to subscribe to both of our channels. Glenn is fast on his way to 1 million subscribers, so if you haven't yet subscribed yet to his YouTube channel, please go ahead and do that. Glenn, what message would you send then to the clients of Paul Weiss who, look, they have autonomy, they can choose where to give their business in light of the fact that Paul Weiss decided not to stand up in very much the same way that other law firms are standing up to this administration, but to capitulate and make it more difficult for the law firms who are actually fighting this thing and embolden Trump even further to think, hey, what I'm doing is okay. Basically, this brand new legalized form of extortion by virtue of the fact that his cronies in the DOJ are too chicken shit to do anything about it.
Yeah, call him out.
Brian, Paul Weiss has done, that firm has done a lot of great work. They have, I think, 1,000 or more lawyers across their several offices, and I'm sure, you know, most of them are excellent lawyers and ethical professionals. You know, the problem becomes, what message are you sending to potential clients who are wondering if they want to retain your services to fight their battles, particularly to fight their battles against the federal government that every day is involved in abuse, overreach, corruption, and outright criminality? Do those clients decide that they're going to throw in their legal lot with a Paul Weiss, or are they going to go to a Perkins Coie or another firm that has opted to stand up against this kind of, you know, autocracy that Donald Trump is practicing? I'm not going to say, you know, boycott this firm or boycott that firm, but I think clients need to make informed decisions about what kind of a law firm they want to plug into. Is it they want one that stands up to dictatorship, autocracy, and tyranny, or one that lays down in the face of those things?
And you know, Glenn, I think the most
Glenn.
most telling part of all of this is that we're seeing Trump employ these practices not just as it relates to big law, but also as it relates to the media. We've obviously seen, you know, CBS, ABC lay down in the face of Trump. These tech billionaires Xu at TikTok, Mark Zuckerberg at Meta. I mean, everybody who he beckons over to the White House immediately crawls over there and offers him whatever concessions they want. We've seen it in the entertainment aspect of things with Amazon spending $40 million on a Melania biopic that I'm sure people are falling over themselves to watch. And in just arena after arena after arena, Trump is showing that he is willing to extort every single entity that he comes across. But almost worse than that is the fact that so many of these entities are willing to be extorted as opposed to recognizing the power that they would hold by virtue of banding together, basically. And yet, rather than do that, which would not only make them stronger, but also push back in the face of this overt tyranny that you just referenced, they've opted to, cow in the face of Trump instead.
Yeah, I mean, the question will be asked, where were you when Trump came first for the immigrants, came for the LGBTQ community, came for big law, came for big tech? Where were you? Were you standing up? Were you laying down? Were you on the sidelines, not wanting to get involved in the fight for a healthy, indeed a viable American democracy? Where were you? I think people need to stand up and fight, and that's why, Brian, not to toot our own horn, we are independent media. We don't have corporate sponsorship. We don't have bosses giving us editorial direction about what we can say, what we can't say, what story we can cover, and what story we shouldn't cover because it might anger somebody. We're just calling it the way it is, giving people accurate information that hopefully they can use to make decisions in their own lives about what they want to do in the face of what Donald Trump is doing to so many. He is hurting so many people, and if we're not standing strong, standing together, and standing up to it, well, then we're all going to fall.
Perfectly put. Again, if you want to support the work that we're doing right now, please make sure to subscribe. The links to both of our channels are right here on the screen. I'm Brian Tyler Cohen.
And I'm Glenn Kirshner.
You're watching The Legal Breakdown.
That's right. Come on. Call it like it is. Stand up. You got to stand up, man. The crazy thing is this. Donald Trump has been in office for, 2 months? And he's already causing a ruckus, bro. This is crazy. Already causing problems and has everyone on the edge for a World War III. We don't know what's going on. He's trying to take over countries. He's ruining relationships that the Americans have had with Canada, Mexico, even the European Union. For all these years, things are coming down to a crumble within a few months, and this is ridiculous. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next video. If you have any more videos you want me to react to, put them in the comment section. I'm here for it. You already know it's your boy, No Tats. See you in the next video.